Welcome, everyone, to the Community IT Innovators Voices interview series. My name is Carolyn Woodard, and I'm very excited today to be interviewing Emeka Okocha. Emeka, would you like to introduce yourself?
How una day? My name is Emeka Okocha. That's how we say, how are you doing, everyone, from where I'm from. I'm Nigerian. My name is Emeka Okocha. I am an ITBM at Community IT, which is an IT business manager.
And so what does that entail? What is an IT business manager?
An IT business manager, in another sense, can be seen as a virtual CIO. In today's world, we have different companies, different organizations that find it hard to have an internal IT because of the cost, and some of them do not have a chief information officer. So the work of an ITBM works mostly with a managed service provider to act as an account manager, basically, to act as someone who does your IT planning, who does your IT management, somewhat also as an internal but external IT manager, who deals with the day-to-day activities of managing your IT and have you not worry about anything that deals with IT.
So you interact with the contacts at the client. What is a typical day like?
A typical day is mostly looking into an organization's systems, going through tickets that have been submitted, working on the roadmaps and looking at the IT maturity model and making sure that at every stage of the IT maturity model, an organization is moving forward in the IT sense, moving forward in a sense that they are given or they are implemented with the latest IT softwares, implementation, applications. So basically giving them the backing in a forward sense.
So it sounds like you do some strategic planning, and you mentioned the roadmap. Can you talk a little bit about what is a roadmap and how do you do that with a client?
A roadmap simply is, just like the word is, a roadmap. It's a guide from point A to point B. For example, we have an organization that just onboarded with Community IT. They come in as they are, but they are not going to remain as they are. They come in with servers, they come in with old devices, they come in with network infrastructure that's old. So I put together a plan, I discuss with the point of contact, I discuss with the C-level staff of that organization, and we look at their current state, and we put in a roadmap. Some people call it an IT maturity model that, okay, you are going to move from having servers to go serverless. We're going to move you from having sonic walls or Fortinets. No, I'm not saying sonic walls or Fortinets are bad, but we're moving you from this infrastructure to a Meraki or something that it can be managed and you don't have to manually do implementation, something that can be automated, moving you in ease. So you already have situation where you have an IT staff go on site to fix this, but an IT staff can, in the comfort of their own laptops, manage the services that you're actually experiencing remote into your system, instead of going on site to manually ask for your time and work on your laptop or work on your device or work on your issue. We can, from the comfort of our own homes and the comfort of wherever you're working, work on this issue. So we create this IT maturity model, the roadmap that is going to take you from point A to point B, moving you giving you the latest IT implementations, and as you go up to the best and the latest that you do not have to worry about.
I can tell that you're really enthusiastic about this. What is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of my job is looking at my roadmap and the IT maturity model and all my consultation and the recommendation I've given to an organization, and they're at the top. They have the latest IT security features. They have the latest network infrastructure. Making the plan and executing the plan for the organization is the best part of my job.
I love it. It sounds great. So you have a technology background or a management background, or how did you come into this role?
I actually have an engineering background. So a little backstory, I had my bachelor's in electrical electronics engineering, and I have my master's in networking and telecommunications. So I have a broad engineering background. But when studying for my master's for networking and telecommunication, I came across IT management services. And I started working as an IT technician. And in about 6 months, I was moved to becoming an IT manager. And ever since, I've been in the managed service provider space, the MSP world. And I've always loved being in the MSP world. I cannot imagine myself being in an internal IT. I love being in a managed service with a managed service provider.
So how did you hear about community IT and what made you want to apply?
I started working as an IT help desk, just a technician. And while working, we worked with nonprofits and just regular clients, business-oriented, profit-oriented clients. And I saw the need to be in the space where we work with non-governmental organizations. And I was with a different MSP that majored with military and security agencies. And I reached out to a recruiter and I was like, can you please help me look for a place that works at nonprofit? Because I would love to work with a nonprofit, because I belong to a nonprofit also. And it's called Feast of Sharing. And I work as the director of IT manager with a nonprofit. And when I look at it and I see the effect of a director of IT manager, and I want to be in that space. I want to help the campaign. I want to help the agenda. I want to help what they stand for. And she said, okay, I have an organization for you, a company for you. It's called Community IT. They are strictly they are strictly nonprofit, although they do have some business oriented. Would you like that? I was like, yes, give it to me. That's where I want to be. And I got an interview and here I am.
So do you have advice for other people who might be like in a tech role and feeling like you were a little bit misplaced, maybe? You talked with a recruiter. Are there any like other is there any other advice that you'd give to somebody to try and get into working with IT with nonprofits?
So you have to identify your values. That's the first thing. What are your values? Or what are you looking for in a job? What are you looking for in a career? Majority of the people my age, in my generation, are financially motivated. Working with a nonprofit, you have to know that you're not financially motivated. You know that your calling is to help. I believe that my calling is to help. And although I get paid for helping, I love the help part of it, the assistance part of it, the helping an organization. For example, we have a client called Ocean Conservancy. I hope I'm not breaching the boundaries, but we have a client called Ocean Conservancy, and their campaign is preserving oceans and wildlife. And that is something that a lot of people love. Like you watch videos, you watch documentaries, you see how there's plastic in the oceans and green life is depreciating on a daily. So you'd love to help that organization now. And that is a value that you have, and this is where I want to be. There are charter schools that help students. These are the campaigns that you want to be at. There are people who are just who are fighting for refugees, like the Lutheran internal refugee services that I work with. They are fighting for refugees. They're making the lives of people better. These are the values that I'm talking about. So you have to take a break. You can still be working, but take a time out. Ask yourself, what are my values? What is my motivation? What am I called to do in this life? Why am I here on earth? Am I here to help? Am I here just to make money and, just go when it's time? So number one value I have is help. I love to help. So working with a nonprofit is where I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people have maybe some stereotypes about people who work in tech, and it takes all personality types, but is there something about, is there like a certain type of personality that works well at community IT, or is there anything that you'd, recommend people to think about? Like maybe they wouldn't think they'd be a good fit, but they might be a good fit anyway.
Don't ever think that you are not a good fit in life. And I'll give you an analogy. Look at our fingers. The holes in there are meant to fit in. You fit in anywhere in life as long as you're dedicated, as long as you have the passion for it. Find out your passion and work with your passion. I spoke about motivation. If financial motivation is good, with financial motivation, you can work as a doctor, you can work as a lawyer just because you want to make money. You can work as a software engineer just because you want to make money. But when you look at your passion is to help. For example, that's one of my core values, helping people. You need to look at your passion and see, create a roadmap, if I would say, where your passion should take you. I outline things that you can look at and say, okay, I love to help. What are the things I can do to give back to the community, give back to life, give back to the human race? Align your passion with your career and you would really flourish.
That's great. Great advice. You mentioned earlier that you're from Nigeria originally. Would you like to tell us the story of how you came to be here working at Community IT?
A little background again. I had my bachelor's in Nigeria, and everyone can see the state of Nigeria right now. We are the giant of Africa, but we are at a space where there is need for change. And I think I'm grateful for my dad. We sat down together and he said, I need you to go to a place where you can find opportunities, and not a place than the land of opportunities, right? So I came to the US to have my master's degree, and the intention was for me to go back to Nigeria. And I came here as a student. And while, studying, discussing with my professors and discussing with my classmates, my eyes were open to a lot of opportunities here. You can just have your GED and be somebody. You have a platform, you have a platform to stand that you can make a name for yourself. You can have effect on your society. So I decided to stay back, and what better way to actually give back to the community when your core value is helping than working in IT. That actually, a lot of people worry about IT on a day-to-day. A lot of people think that IT is it's one of the toughest things to do, and that's where you come in. You're able to help them navigate their lives, as we use Internet of Things every day. We help them navigate their lives every single day by giving them a good quality of service, and they do not have to worry about anything IT.
So my last question is, when you are in a situation like an elevator or a party, and someone asks you what you do and what Community IT does, how do you describe it?
I tell them I work in a place that we love to help people. I tell them I would try to bring them into community IT. Community IT has one of the best work-life balance you can think of. And a lot of people would say it's cliche. I'm telling you, it is not cliche. I've seen a lot of, I know with coronavirus, with the Black Lives Matter, with the whole issue that has happened so far, being in community IT has opened my eyes to what work-life balance is. A place where once you're done working for the day, you do not have to worry about what you're going to face. You don't know what you're going to face the next day. You know that once work is over, it's time for family, and you don't even have to bring work into family, because the CEO will not allow you to do that. I remember sending an email one time to the director of people services at 8 o'clock, and this is what she said. I quote, "Why are you replying my email at 8 o'clock? You should be with family." And it was awesome to see. You're not in a space where you worry about work. You have a balanced work life at community IT here.
I've heard other people say that as well, that community IT has as a core value that we don't operate from scarcity, that we only have a few people who are managing way too many clients and trying to help them all, 24 hours a day, that we do have support for all of our clients, but we don't want people to be so spread thin that they're not able to provide that level of service that we expect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Emeka. I had a wonderful time talking to you. Thank you for telling us your story, and I just really appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you, Carolyn, and bye, everyone.